1804 Customer furnished metering equipment and general installation requirements. This article will cover the different types of metering equipment that must be furnished and installed by customer for use on single-phase and three-phase services. This equipment includes 125, 200, and 320 ampere, single-phase, self-contained meter sockets, modular metering equipment, meter pedestals, freestanding metering equipment racks, and where necessary custom-made instrument transformer enclosures including isolated and dedicated compartments within customers' switchgear. General installation guidelines for this equipment are also covered in this article. 1804 1 single-phase, self-contained meter sockets for residential installations. CPS Energy-approved single-phase, self-contained meter sockets are rated at 125, 200, and 320 amperes. These sockets can be purchased by customer at local electrical distributors or major retail hardware stores. Approved meter sockets will be identified by the CPSB stamp on the inside of socket and embossed CPSB lettering on the lower right-hand corner of the lid. Customer shall use this type of meter socket in all cases where single-phase service is supplied from CPS Energy or where single-phase supply is to be taken from a three-phase service. These types of meter sockets are limited to maximum calculated loads of 320 amperes, refer to figure 1801. Note 1. All installation and wiring requirements outlined in Article 1803(1) for these types of sockets shall be applicable. Note 2. CPS Energy furnishes single-phase self-contained sockets for commercial installations. 1804 2 Modular metering equipment. Modular metering equipment consists of factory-made, pre-bussed meter centers with main breaker compartments, single-position meter sockets, and individual breakers, all designed to be field assembled in modular fashion. Modular metering equipment may be used after approval from CPS Energy's Electric Service and Metering Standards section for use on multifamily dwellings requiring 120/240 volts and or 120/208 volts for calculated loads not exceeding 200 amperes per individual unit or house load, refer to figure 1814. Note: house loads exceeding 200 amperes shall have dedicated transformer-rated metering equipment and shall be grouped with respective building. Modular metering. 1. Uses not permitted. CPS Energy will not approve or accept modular metering equipment for commercial single-phase or three-phase applications except for cell tower sites requiring single-phase, 120/208 volts from a 208Y/120 volt three-phase service. CPS Energy neither owns nor maintains modular metering equipment. Modular metering also is not permitted where a. Service voltage is 480Y/277 volt. b. Customer calculated load greater than 200 amperes is projected for any 1 meter. Large loads must be separated in the planning stages. c. Single-phase loads cannot be balanced on 208Y/120 volt services. d. Modular metering equipment is not owned by one party who is responsible for its maintenance. 2. General requirements of modular metering equipment. Modular metering equipment must be manufactured in accordance with all applicable national standards and shall be listed. All modular metering equipment shall have written approval by CPS Energy's Electric Service and Metering Standards section prior to making purchase. Specific requirements by CPS Energy for modular metering equipment are as follows. A. Equipment must have a fault current rating exceeding fault current available at the particular installation location. B. Covers on circuit breaker compartments must be removable without disturbing meters. C. Non-removable durable covers must enclose unmetered incoming main bus. Metered and unmetered busbars within the metering compartments shall not be in close proximity to one another unless they are protected against tampering. D. Meter socket components must be readily accessible and removable for maintenance. Spare parts must be readily available. E. Meter sockets shall have bypass horns and meter guides. F. Meter lids shall be ringless type and when removed shall not require removal of other lids or in any way interfere with the operation of adjacent meters. G. Where 120/208 volt, 3-wire, meters are required, the modular metering stacks must be equipped to receive 208Y/120 volt, 4-wire service for load balancing purposes, and they must have movable internal bus connectors to accomplish the balancing. A fifth terminal is required in each meter socket and it must be in the 9 o'clock position facing the socket. Each fifth terminal must have a connection to the neutral bus. H. Single-phase 125 ampere meters must not be stacked higher than 5 meters, single-phase 200 ampere meters must not be stacked higher than 4 meters, refer to figure 1814. I. Where a line side, source, or main lug only, MLO, required for 2 to 6 meters, is used to receive the service, its cover must have a provision for a CPS energy padlock. Where end bells cover bus extension outlets, the end bells must have a provision for wire seals or be sealed with fasteners that are not externally removable. Where a main disconnect module is used, its cover must have a provision for a standard one-time padlock type seal. J. Individual circuit breakers at tenant meters are required and must have independent lockable covers. 1804 3-meter pedestals with single-position meter sockets. A meter pedestal is a freestanding device consisting of a vertically mounted channel that supports the meter socket and service equipment, both integral to the meter pedestal. The meter pedestal may be pre-bussed, and its general design is similar to modular metering equipment described in this section. A meter pedestal may be used where approved by CPS Energy's Electric Service and Metering Standards section, refer to definition of meter pedestal and figure 1501. 1. Uses not permitted. CPS Energy neither owns nor maintains meter pedestal equipment. Meter pedestal equipment is not permitted where A. 3-phase service is requested. B. Service voltage is 277/480 volts. C. Customer calculated load greater than 200 amperes is projected for any 1 meter socket. D. Meter pedestal is not owned by one party who is responsible for its maintenance. E. There is more than 1 meter socket per pedestal. 2. General requirements of meter pedestal equipment. Meter pedestals must be manufactured in accordance with all national standards for such devices and be listed. Specific requirements by CPS Energy are as follows. A. Equipment must have a fault current rating exceeding fault current available at the particular installation location. B. Meter sockets must be 200 amperes rated. C. Meter socket components must be readily accessible and removable for maintenance. Spare parts must be readily available. D. Meter sockets shall have bypass horns and meter guides. E. Meter lids shall be ringless type and when removed shall not require removal of other lids or in any way interfere with the operation of adjacent meters. F. Meter pedestals may be pad mount or have an underground concrete encased mounting support. Underground portions must have sufficient strength to support the unit and be coated or otherwise protected to prevent corrosion. The underground portion shall be made rigid by pouring a minimum 20-inch thick by 18-inch diameter concrete base around a unit's stabilizing footing or other extension. Other than the footings, no part of the meter pedestal shall be installed in direct contact with the earth, refer to figure 1501. G. Customer must install a 3-inch minimum Schedule 40 PVC conduit and a 24-inch radius elbow at the base of the unit. The conduit shall extend 6 inches above the concrete base into the service lateral terminating compartment. The elbow shall be encased in the concrete base and extend approximately 6 inches beyond the concrete base at a depth of 24 inches below final grade. H. For residential applications, the end of the elbow that extends out of the concrete base shall be plugged and face in the direction specified by the CPS Energy representative. CPS Energy shall install trench from source to meter pedestal and furnish and install the service lateral conduit. I. For commercial applications, Customer shall install trench, elbow, and service lateral conduit from source to meter pedestal in accordance with requirements specified by the CPS Energy Customer Service Representative. J. The service lateral conductors furnished and installed by CPS Energy will enter the pedestal's terminal compartment via the 3-inch conduit elbow and will be terminated by CPS Energy with customer-furnished CPS Energy-approved lugs. The lugs in the terminal compartment must accommodate copper or aluminum conductors that will normally be in sizes of number 2 AWG through number 4/0 AWG. Lugs must be mounted on terminals that are supported by an insulating terminal block or equivalent arrangement. A pass-through type bonding lug must also be provided in the terminal compartment. K. Customer shall furnish and install an approved grounding electrode at each pedestal in accordance with the NEC and Section 1700. Grounding electrodes shall not be installed within meter pedestal housing. L. Load side conduit shall not be installed within the same compartment used for CPS Energy service lateral conductors.